What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and in this video we'll be doing some TA on Bitcoin, BTC USD. It is the 13th day of November, and here we are at about $102.4 thousand with 10 hours and 16 minutes left in the day. We have moved up a little bit, but it looks like we're getting set to move back down. Hit that like button, you guys, subscribe, and let's just get into it. Okay, here we are, 1 hour time frame. Looking at this, we're going to zoom into the 1 hour and then zoom out from there. The 1 hour kind of looks like you've just got lower highs, right, and lower lows throughout this whole range here. We've just put in a lower high, so I'm thinking just based off of that we might see a lower low. Volume is picking up as we're dropping. It is kind of decaying, but not to the point where we're absolved of going lower. I would think that we do go lower, we'll probably pick up in volume there. What we're ideally going to see is a decay in volume, though, right? We want to see it not be at these levels or above these levels here. That's what we want to see. Likely we do go lower at this point, but let's look at the indicators and see if that agrees, right? I mean, maybe there's something that we're not seeing here. Maybe we do reverse. That'd be nice, but looking at this on a daily time frame, we did kind of break out of this range overall down here, and this it's kind of odd because I don't know what to think of this, right? This in itself is like a range down here, but it's almost like this overall is just one big range. But regardless of how you want to look at it, we are kind of grinding the base of this area, right? Makes me think that we might go a little bit lower. That doesn't mean that we're gonna sorry, hold on. Sorry. That doesn't mean that we're going to break out and go to 80K or 70K, nothing like that, but it could mean that we see slightly lower prices than what we had over here at about 98.9K. We could see something slightly lower than that, and that should give us higher levels of fear as well. I'm actually kind of curious. I don't think this refreshed yet. Hold on. I want to see what the fear is right now. Even with yesterday's drop, not that much, huh? Not that much. I'm wanting us to get into extreme fear because the sooner we get into extreme fear, I think the sooner we can start moving up. I don't think we have to get there, but that would be nice. That'd be a definite sign that we are ready to move higher is once we get into extreme fear. The last time we saw extreme fear was a very significant low point in the markets. To get to extreme fear, we need to see readings below 20. Okay. Anyways. And I think we'd get that if we saw lower lows here. I really do think that we'd get that. Anyways, let's look at the 1 hour time frame and see what the indicators are saying, because maybe we won't even go below 100K. Let's just see. At this point, that's kind of the stance that I'm taking, though. 1 hour time frame, RSI looks sad, man. It just looks sad. You're doing all the wrong things. Getting overbought, and then not getting overbought, and then like just rejecting it, and then just completely avoiding the area entirely. Lower highs throughout while getting oversold. It's not nice. And then living predominantly below the 50 instead of above the 50, right? It seems rather bearish to me. Stochastics would make me think that we go lower. The MACD is at the 0 where we've rejected before, where we found support before. Likely it looks like we're going to reject here as well, unless we just find support. I mean, we could find support at the 50 on the stochastics. It is possible. We could find support here in the RSI as well, but both of them make me think that we go lower, just to be fair. We didn't quite hit the golden ratio. Typically, Bitcoin doesn't bounce right above it. I mean, it can happen, and it's actually a positive look, but I wouldn't be bullish on Bitcoin here. I am bearish to prices that are below 100K, okay? Now, how far down? That's a good question, because we could bounce at 99.9K, and that's it. We could bounce there, because the thing is, we've got these higher lows, right? This low here, connect the dots up here. I mean, that would be perfect, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it just be absolutely perfect? We go right below this trend line, find support, and then that's it. Everybody's going to freak out. All these stop losses will get hit because of this trend line here. We might even go a little bit lower, 99.9K, 98.8K, somewhere in here. We could find a higher low, or maybe we find a triple bottom of sorts. Is that all the lows here? Are there more lows? No, there's not. So I think that we could. It is possible that we do hold support here, but if we break below $98.8 thousand on a 4 hour closing basis or higher, we really do run the risk of going anywhere from about 98K to really even 94K. Like really anything throughout that zone. I don't think we'd go to 94K. 95K probably would be the lowest, or 96K even. But something below 98K would be very likely if we go below 98.8 thousand on a 4 hour or higher closing time frame. Okay, for the moment, at this moment, I am considering 99.9 to 98.8, and I could be wrong. There is this scenario where you reached for the golden ratio here and you missed it, and now you're actually having a proper reaction. And with this, that's a it's actually called front running, where there's like an obvious target, the golden ratio area, something that everybody's paying attention to. There's a lot of buying pressure there, not enough selling pressure. So then you reverse. Instead of actually interacting with this area, it's as if interacting just above it is the same thing as interacting with it. I mean, you are finding support here at prior resistance, kind of. It's just not that significant of a level, to be fair. I mean, 100K psychologically, we're kind of around there. I think 102K is more significant than 100K personally, as far as price perspective goes. But yeah, at this point, I am thinking we go just below 100K again. We'll see. We'll see. Let's zoom out and see if we see anything else. Okay, 4-hour time frame here. Looking at the MACD, yeah. What's sad is we broke above the zero on the oscillators here. I was really thinking we'd find support, and I was thinking the path that we would take would be different, right? We were expecting that we'd consolidate a little bit, but I was thinking Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we'd be moving up, we'd be bouncing, but no, we're piercing through, we're penetrating and building bearish momentum, if anything. So that's discouraging. And again, lower lows, lower highs here. It's almost as if, right, you had this bear flag, right? It's like the bearish hockey stick of death came true, and now we're going to go lower. I don't think that it is a bear flag. I don't think that it'll be respected as such. I mean, if it were to be considered a bear flag, whether it's from this high to low or it's from this high to low, however you want to measure it, right? I think this was your bear flag right here. I think this was it. That move to this move, that was your bear flag. But however you want to measure it, if it is a bear flag, that takes down, I guess, 95. That measurement might play out. This measurement, I don't think would play out. But to be fair, that'd be a kind of weird bear flag, though, right? It's a very small flagpole with a very large flag, and it just doesn't. I don't think it is a bear flag. So I don't. That gives me a little bit of confidence that we don't actually go too much below like $98,000 and $99,000, but we'll see. 102.5K. Now, 4-hour time frame, looking at the RSI, yeah, it's bearish. You substituted your upward sloping trend for a downward sloping trend. It's that simple. We're at a high point coming down. Likely, just like these upper trends resolve themselves in the overbought zone, the downward trends resolve themselves in the oversold zone. So we should, being on the 4-hour time frame, be moving down between today and tomorrow, Friday. So today's not going to be fun. There's not going to be any excitement. Maybe for various cryptos. Maybe there's some coins that are pumping right now. I'm kind of curious to see. Yeah, AB, whatever AB is. Quant, hey, that's good. But, they're not pumping that much, right? These are just like little tiny baby pumps. We've got a lot more deficits than pumps right now. And it's all the stuff that was pumping, right? Isn't it funny? It's all the stuff that was pumping. Maybe not IP. Virtuals that was pumping over the last week that's seeing the biggest drops now. Take that to the bank, right? That is something to keep in mind. Don't chase pumps, not in depressed environments like this. Whenever there's high levels of fear, people are making irrational decisions. Whatever pumps will come back down typically, right? Maybe not Zcash. Maybe Zcash doesn't go all the way back down, but anyways, I digress. Bitcoin 4-hour time frame RSI sucks. Stochastics are not friendly, and the 4-hour MACD is disappointing. So all of it suggesting downward, down, down. And the best case scenario here is that we either hold this trend line, or most likely we will go just below it, find support down there, get some kind of double, triple bottom, whatever, and then recover. If not, perhaps we do pierce through that a little bit more. But I'm personally not expecting that we go too much below. If we go below 98K, not too much below there. I would think somewhere between, let's just say, 96 to 99,000, somewhere in there. 96 to 100K, somewhere in that price range, we're going to find support. But we're at 102K now, so we probably do go down. Looking at the leverage positions overall for the past 30 days. Wow, we piled on some more longs. Wow. You guys, the longs literally doubled since we last looked, and all we did is move down. If we're going to add billions of dollars to leverage longs in a 24-hour period while we're going down, we're going to keep going down. It's like if we're moving up and people add billions of dollars in shorts every single day, we're going to keep moving up. If you want to add billions of dollars in longs every time you move down, we're going to keep moving down until it's beaten out of you. Until some sense is beaten out of you, or you're beaten senseless, whatever it is. 12.7 billion to 4.6. That's 17 billion. That's just under 20 billion. That's crazy how low we've seen this come. Or maybe it's not crazy. Maybe what's crazy is how high they once were. But yeah, 7-day time frame, 1-day time frame, man. Oh, you're gonna get eaten up. Yeah, we're going below 100K. I think that's what it is. And if we were to clear out all the longs built in from the past week, we'd clear out about $5 billion in longs at $97,500. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. There's more shorts. There's more cause to see a voluptuous upside, a nice short squeeze, and I think we'll get there. We're just going to clear out the longs first, pile on added shorts. Everybody from here is going to flip over to this side. These guys are going to add to their positions. James Wynn's going to go heavy to the short side, and then we're going to move up. Then we're going to move up. That's what's going to happen. So I very much do believe we break through this trend line. And at that point, again, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but when we break this trend line, my thought would be that is the perfect time to buy, not the perfect time to panic. You're probably going to see a bunch of people on X.com, various content creators or technical analysts on YouTube saying, "Oh my God, we broke out. This is a bear flag. We're going to go below 90K, guys. It's the beginning of the bear market." All that kind of stuff, and they're all going to say it like right here. Mark my words, between 100K and 96K, and then we rally, and then we move up. That's what's going to happen. At least that's what I foresee happening. Unless we are in a bear market, then we'll have another conversation to have. But we are forming bullish divergence. I think we will be forming bullish divergence with this next drive down on the MACD, on the stochastics, and on the RSI. So there's going to be reasons to move higher after we move lower. And then if and when we do break down and there's a total lack in volume, like there is now, like if we're getting less volume, if it goes up a little bit from here, that's okay. But if we see less volume than this, that could be implicative as well that we are ready to move higher, right? Typically, if you're moving up and there's a lack of volume, you will move down. If you're moving down and there's a lack of volume, you will move up, right? Like here, we're moving down, volume's dying off, and then there is no volume to push us lower, so we start to move higher. Anyways, daily indicators here. We already looked at them. Yes, we already did. The stochastics are a bit disappointing because here we were really excited. I thought that we were going to be pushing higher. I still think that we will push higher, but it looks like we just have a little bit lower to go. That's my thought there. Getting the blue above the orange is nice, but I have a feeling that today will close red, so it won't really matter. Looking at the weekly time frame here, we are going to get a red week, aren't we? We're going to get another. I thought this week would be green, but it looks like we are going to get another red week. And once we do, we will be literally at these exact same low points that we've been throughout the whole cycle. Last week, again, my problem was that we weren't so high up. But the difference here versus here, it's clearly a different low, where this is in tandem with everything else. So either this week or next week should provide the low. We are almost there. And there's one last thing that I want to leave you guys with, okay, before we end. This is beyond just seeing that on the RSI, beyond seeing the same thing on the stochastics, that every time we get into the oversold zone, that we are actually at the low point. Or on the MACD, the oscillators being at this exact level, same thing. Other than that, from a time perspective, we can actually observe this, from a consolidation phase here. I would consider this like the beginning of this consolidation. Even this, we can include all this to where you started to move up. Maybe we started to move up here. That was like 23 weeks, 27 weeks, 29 weeks, whatever, however you want to call it. This here, from when we started to consolidate to when we started to move up, would be about 28 weeks there, maybe 26 weeks, depending on how you want to look at it, but I feel like 28 weeks. From here to when we started to move up, we consolidated for about 25 weeks, so on the 26th week there, that's when we moved up. Here, we consolidated. I would consider this the beginning of the consolidation range right here, personally. Not the high. I think we started to consolidate before then. I think we were in a diamond top, so it was actually from here. We started to move up here 20 weeks later, right? If we're taking this into consideration, I would say that we've actually been consolidating in this range here, right? This overall phase here is a consolidation range. We've been consolidating now for about 25 weeks. Now, we've seen longer consolidation phases, we've seen shorter consolidation phases, but more or less we've been consolidating roughly for the same amount of time that we typically do throughout this bull market, and even at the very ass end of the bear market there, right? So I do think that we are coming to an end of this boring, depressing price action. I just think we're at the final stretch of it, and whether it's this week or next week, we should find our low, which implies then that next week or the week then after, we should start to see some increase in price. Okay, so that's my closing thoughts there. I don't have anything else for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, hit the like button, subscribe, take care of yourselves. It's looking like we are moving lower, so that's that. All right, take care. Bye bye.